Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. This is a quote I just saw. It instantly made me think deeper about different areas in my life where there was goals I set for myself or dreams that I had that I just kind of let go to waste because I felt that they were too out of reach. That I felt, even if I had a big boost of confidence about whatever it was, I felt that it wasn't going to last long, and I was never actually going to land on the moon. And something that this quote made me realize is that's kind of the point. Life takes us in all different directions, no matter how much we plan, no matter how much we coordinate our days turn out completely different sometimes. You can't control everything in life. That's why we need to shoot for the moon, because even if we miss or we don't do as good, we will land amongst the stars. We will put ourselves in a place where we will accomplish other things. Just simply by shooting for the moon, you're able to land somewhere that you never dreamed you'd ever be. If you shoot for the moon for big goals, even if you miss or don't quite make the quota, it's okay, because just for shooting that high for that big of a goal, you will accomplish so many other things. Another really deep thing that I got from this quote is that if you only aim for the treetops, you will have no chance of making it past the treetops. Why not shoot for the moon? Why not aim for that? You're literally limiting your own sky. You're limiting your own destiny and own opportunities when you put such a small ceiling on yourself, Don't limit your opportunities, don't limit your skies just because you're too scared to shoot for something higher. There's something that just feels so good about shooting for something that you can barely even see yourself ever achieving. For shooting for goals that you think are so out of reach. There's something so beautiful about being able to do that, to be able to believe in yourself and have enough confidence that you can shoot that high. And who knows what'll come out of it. But yeah, don't limit your opportunities because you're too afraid to shoot for something higher. And to talk from personal experiences, there's something so beautiful about really giving your all at something, even when your chances are slim, to really give your heart to completing this goal or making this quota. The thing I learned is chasing after big dreams heals big wounds. The hardest times in my life, it was hard for me to figure out how to channel that. How do you channel certain pain? How do you find hope when it seems like there's nothing for you? Something that helped me just coping with things, that happen in your past or whatever, is chasing after big dreams. Or just, when I say big dreams, it could be small, but like something that you're very passionate about. It's big to you. I remember when I was younger, something that it was like really distressful almost for me. I was ambitious, but at the same time, I was extremely lazy because I wasn't passionate about something. I wasn't passionate enough. I wasn't excited enough. I wasn't willing enough. And I didn't have big dreams or more so, I didn't have hope in those dreams. So much so that I never even gave it the shot. As a kid, there's a lot of things we dream about or whatever, and we often let those dreams go, and that's okay. But something that was wrong in my case, is I let them go because I had zero hope in them. I had zero faith that I would be able to accomplish those. That is a horrible way to think. You have to try. We're on this earth, and I don't believe our whole purpose is to have fun and just have a great life or anything. Because I think our purpose is deeper than that, and I'm glad it's deeper than that. But at the same time, this is an experience. This life is an experience, and you're supposed to make the most of it. I believe in God, and I don't believe he wants us to just not make anything of ourselves. I think that's the point. Failing and growing and learning. You will never have any of these things if you don't shoot for the stars, if you don't shoot for the moon. And it sounds so cheesy, but it's so real. Like, there's so much life in chasing after big dreams and just believing that it's possible. There's so much life in that. And I just think it's important for us to keep in mind. And this kind of goes along with what I was talking about earlier about I spent a lot of years of my life being lazy, and it didn't matter if I was passionate about something at the time or whatever. I never even gave it the shot. I never even gave it a shot. And my next point is that you will never make it to the moon if you only follow the waves. What I mean by this is it's so easy to sit in the waves, to follow the waves, to go with the flow. We like to find the easy way out. That's on YouTube and TikTok, everyone's trying to get rich quick, all these quick, lazy, half-done jobs. And, a lot of us are really attracted to comfort. We don't like to go against the current. We just like to go along with everything that's going on around us. We don't like to make decisions for ourselves. That is why a lot of us find ourselves living a life that wasn't even meant for us because we didn't decide it. And, you decided to not decide your life. For most people, it's like that. What I mean is you need to take a shot, no matter how far it is, no matter how hard you need to swim against the current. You need to take a shot and stop just going with the flow. Because the harsh reality that many don't realize, if you don't take the shot now, and if you don't go against the current now, there will be a day that's coming soon where it will be too late. Where you just went with the flow so much that you ended up in the same place as everyone around you. Now you're looking around like, I want to go against the current. I want something different. I don't want this for my life. But by that time, it's too late. It's too late. You've already gone downstream with everyone else so far that you won't have the chance to go against the current. And if you're young, you still have the chance. You still have the chance to make a change. You still have a chance to take hold of your life and to shoot for something higher. Because we all know that there's bigger things we could be doing. There's better things we could be doing with our day. And the ironic part about this is we often think that going with the flow is the easier route. And, it is for a while. It is at first. But once you start to realize that if you just go with the flow your whole life, it is more tiring to be tossed around, forced in directions and situations that you don't want to be in, and find yourself in a life you don't want to be in. Then you start to look back and be like, maybe the hard work it would have been for me to go for those dreams I had in the beginning and just really, really worked really hard. Yes, that's hard work too. But the thing is, we come to realize is both are hard, but one leads to freedom and one leads to being put in a cell. And I cannot express how much better and lively my life has become just by simply making something of my passions, making something of what gives me a spark. Like what am I passionate about? What is something I want in my life? What is something I want to experience or something I want to have? I realized how dull my life was when I let those pass. All the years I spent sitting in my bed, watching YouTube, dreaming about making YouTube videos and not actually even trying. If you have something that you want to do in life, if there's something you want to have, don't dream about it so much that you lose your chance. Dream about it, then do everything you can to make it come true. Shoot for the moon, and because even if you miss, you will land amongst the stars. And that is so true. You will accomplish crazy things you'd never dream about if you just aim a little higher. Stop aiming at the floor. Stop aiming in the circle that you've already created for yourself, that somebody else already created for you. Make it outside the box. Aim outside the box and allow yourself to dream about things and allow yourself to accomplish great things in life, things that gives you passion and light in your life. Don't sit around and allow yourself to stay in a dull place forever, because you don't need to do that. A lot of people think you need to be born in a certain place or born with enough money, born with better parents, and it's not true. You can still chase after your dreams no matter what situation you're in. No matter how impossible it may seem, you can find a way. And it's time to find that way, and it's time to just take a shot and just try. You will get so much out of it if you just try. Even if you give yourself a timeline, 3 months. I'm going to post every day for 3 months to get 1,000 followers. Even if you don't get that 1,000 followers, you would have learned how to edit. You will have learned audio, all these different things. Just take a shot before it's too late. I do want to say that a few videos ago, I asked you guys to put comments down below of questions you guys have, like not about me, but like life in general. If you just want to hear my perspective on different stuff, I think it would be a cool thing for me to make a video just responding to them. So if you have anything or any topics you just want me to talk about, put it down below and we'll just see how that goes. But anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, shoot for the moon.